My dear brothers and sisters, inshallah ta'ala, to conclude our discussion on the benefits of the month of Ramadan and the value of the experience of fasting, I wanted to share with you, inshallah ta'ala, three final thoughts here. And I really want you to heed my words and to think long and hard and to think as deep as possible before Ramadan starts about these things in order to assess your own experience, your own goals. What is it that you're trying to achieve with the month of Ramadan this year? And I think that the most important, by far the most important benefit we get out of Ramadan is spiritual power. Is to truly believe on realistic and practical grounds that it is your soul that is in control of your physical body and not the other way around. The state of most human beings is really quite depressing. Every time we want something, every time our physical bodies desire something, we never hesitate to satisfy that desire. Every time we get hungry, we go find something to eat. And with the consumer culture around it, that has become really, really abundant. Every time we're thirsty, we never hesitate. We always talk about, drinking a lot of water and so forth. Every time you need to get some sleep, the immediate thing that comes to mind is just go rest and lie on your back and get some sleep, right? This happens all the time. Even at times when we feel a little bit depressed, when we feel a little bit down, when we're not really in good mood, and our souls are crying for help, what most people do is just buy something new. So you go to the mall and you buy a new leather jacket. And then you feel a little bit better about this for a while, right? And then that state of depression comes back to you and you don't know why, right? Some people resort to drinking and they get themselves intoxicated. And again, you see, it's all about the physical body. Your soul is telling you, right, in very clear terms, I am in pain and I want you to help me, and you still feed the physical body. And that's the irony of this process. And that's really the status quo that Ramadan upsets. Ramadan changes that status quo. Ramadan puts limitations and restrictions on the physical body that you feed 11 months of the year. And now it is time to let that soul that was about to drown, the soul is like a human being was about to drown, hardly able to keep its nose on the surface of the water to take a little breath. But now it is time to give some strength to that soul so it's not drowning anymore by restricting and restraining the desires and the needs of the flesh and giving the soul some strength in the month of Ramadan. And when you do this, you will experience a world that is beyond your imagination. That happiness is not just about what I have. It's not just about what I possess. It is not just about the power in my hands or the bank account or this pleasure and that desire. That true happiness is also about your relationship with Allah. It's about your relationship with God. It's about your place in this universe. It's about the purpose of your existence and what you're here to do and achieve in the life of this world. So this could be perhaps what God was talking about in the Quran, in the very popular ayah that says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. O you who believe, in the translation, in the English translation, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed on you as it has been prescribed upon those before you, previous nations that is, so that you may attain piety. So that you may attain piety. And I've always asked myself that question. How is fasting related to piety? And the answer to that question is that when you fast and you are able to purify your soul at the expense of the physical body and strengthen that soul, and that soul will come to a pure state of existence. It'll understand and recognize its responsibilities. It'll understand its relationship with God, and the soul yearns to God because it came directly from God, right? As the Quran says about when God created Adam, God says in the Quran, فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. He talks, when I create Adam and molded him into shape, he speaks to the angels, and breathe into Adam from my soul, right? And he asks the angels to prostrate to Adam. So God explicitly says that the soul, this part of our being that we try to strengthen in Ramadan, comes directly from Him. And because the flesh comes from the earth, it wants to go back to the earth. It wants to be low in its desires and needs and wants. But because the soul comes from God, it wants to be elevated. It wants to ascend. It wants to be united with the great entity in the universe, our Lord, that it came initially from. So once you do this, you find that your desires, you find that your needs, that your wants are compatible with the desires and the needs of God. And that is exactly how a state of piety or a state of taqwa can be attained. So inshallah ta'ala, always keep that in mind. And let me share with you another thought. The month of Ramadan is a beautiful experience of socialization. We get closer to each other. We go to the masjid every night. We speak to our brothers and sisters. We break fast together. We invite people to our homes, and we accept people's invitations. We care about our brothers and sisters. We care about those who are less fortunate. We become more charitable in Ramadan. We become more generous in Ramadan. Most Muslims I know, they postpone their zakah until it's the month of Ramadan. Most Muslims I know, they wait until it's Ramadan to give the biggest amounts of charity. Right? So take advantage of that. Connect with your fellow brothers and sisters. Connect with fellow human beings, Muslims or otherwise. Connect with the human, right? Make sure that it is not just about you all the time, that it is also about your place in a society. A human being by nature is a social being. Without your brothers and sisters, without the community, you no matter how much money you have, right? No matter how successful you are at work, you will never be 100% happy. You will never be satisfied. You'll always feel that something is missing, right? And that's really what the Quran says. وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ. Right? Adhere yourself in perseverance with those who mention the name of their Lord night and day. Those pious brothers and sisters, those good-hearted, kind people who will remind you when you make a mistake, who will pick you up when you fall, right? Who will correct your path when you trip. You want those people in your life, and those people are available abundantly in the month of Ramadan. You know where to find them. You find them at the masajid. So make sure that you're connected with your local masjid in Ramadan. Make sure that you're connected with the masjid program, the spiritual program in the month of Ramadan. Make sure that you attend Salat al-Fajr and you attend Salat al-Isha, and you are there with the brothers and sisters when they break their fast. Make sure that you attend Salat al-Taraweeh, that you listen to what the Imam has to say. Make sure that you log this information in, that you analyze it and process it, and develop out of Ramadan a template, a paradigm of compassion, of love, of humility, of piety, perseverance, self-discipline and self-control. A template that can stay with you for the rest of the year. Something that you can go back to. Make sure that your batteries are recharged. Make sure that your spirit is at its highest in the month of Ramadan, so that you can go on for the rest of the year with the same or at least similar strength to that which you have developed in the month of Ramadan. My dear brothers and sisters, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this occasion to make Ramadan of this year a blessed experience for each and every one of you. And I ask Him to shower His bounties endlessly, without limit, upon each and every one of you and your families and your beloved ones. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make each and every one of us among those who actually earn God's forgiveness, who earn God's mercy and compassion in the month of Ramadan, and among those who earn His salvation on the Day of Judgment. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Thank you so much for listening, and may Allah bless you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.